Number 5, Eddie Schultz. Number 6, Caitlin Wood. Number 7, Lydia Clark. Number 8, Annabelle Smith. Number 9, Avery Meredith. Number 10, Lauren Henshaw. Number 11, Caitlin Rogers. Number 12, Brooklyn Oliver. Number 13, Emma Stanley. Number 14, Sierra Keys. Number 15, Kat Swift. Number 17, Elena Nicholson. And number 21, Brighton Ricker. And your head coach for the Wolfpack of Greenbrier, Kevin Williams. And now for the starters. For the Lions of St. Pius X, number 1, Abby Williams. Number 2, Laura Underwood. Number 3, Erin Burke. Number 4, Rose Porter. Number 5, Jillian Fry. Number 6, Bridget Consolazero. Number 7, Haley Roseth. Number 8, Kate Laraco. Number 9, Aubrey Bolzer. Number 10, Emma Farrell. Number 11, Issa Boyd. Number 12, Avery Brown. Number 13, Kelly Stevenson. Number 14, Nina Shaw. Number 15, Madeline Kelly. Number 16, Olivia Pager. Number 17, Live Davis. And number 18, Anna Maria Radkowski. And Taylor Zimmerman. Your head coach for the Lions is John Frederick. That is St. Pius X.
Pius X.
Hello and welcome to Lake Point Sports Complex. It's state championship Saturday with the top volleyball teams in all classifications fighting for the title. I'm Riley O'Neill, joined by Jack Morgan here on NFHS Network. We're back on the mic this time for a great 5A matchup between the Greenbrier Wolfpack and the St. Pius Golden Lions. Jack, we know how good St. Pius is with a handful of college commits. What does Greenbrier need to do to shut down their attack?
Honestly, what they have to do is figure out first how not to serve the ball to Pius's libero and how to keep her out of the defense as much as possible, and that's easier said than done. Emma Farrell's one of the best liberos in the country. She just gets the ball so easily, and when she gets it, she puts it on the setter's hands. It goes to the middle, and then the attack is so fast. Greenbrier's got to slow them down. They've got to serve them aggressively. They've got to get them out of system. Anytime Pius is in system, it's like trying to play against a steamroller. And that's just really what they have to do.
St. Pius comes into this one 51-1 on the season, riding a 36-game win streak. Greenbrier, on the other hand, 36-2, riding an 11-game win streak.
Yeah, this is going to be. It'll turn on literally just how well Greenbrier can play defense. But you know, they've been here. They played McIntosh last year. They've played some really tough teams, and they got 9 seniors on this team. It's a mostly junior and senior team. Pius as well. They've got 6 seniors. So this is 2 really experienced teams.
And similar to Mount Parent Christian this morning, St. Pius looking to repeat as state champs for the first time since 2018.
And they've got a good chance of doing it. They're currently ranked. Here we go. I'll talk about that in a minute.
As our first set is underway, good hit at the top of the net for number 5, Eddie Schultz for Greenbrier. Again, they go to Schultz as Farrell digs it out. A block by Schultz and a point for Greenbrier. Just like that, fans already on their feet. Greenbrier, their first ever appearance in the state championship, and they're soaking it all in.
And that is Eddie Schultz on that block, and that's exactly where she's going to have to be all day.
Off the hands of Laraco, the outside hitter. Onto the outside for number 2, Underwood. Farrell at the top of the net as this one is hit out of bounds, and Greenbrier gets 2 quick points. That was number 10, Emma Farrell, to number 12, Avery Brown.
And the thing to watch from Emma Farrell is a lot of players we're going to see dig balls as we have all day, but her digs actually go straight to the setter's hands and start the offense in transition.
And an attempted dig there for Avery Brown is unsuccessful. So 3 very quick points for Greenbrier.
And they're doing exactly what we said. They're not serving Emma Farrell, and they're making other people have to pass the ball and start the offense. And they're getting some great touches at the net from Eddie Schultz right now.
So Brown to Underwood connection will get it over the net. Greenbrier looking to respond. Oh, and what a did there by Meredith. Off the hands of Nina Shaw and out of bounds. A 4-0 run for Greenbrier, something that I don't think myself or Jack, you expected to open up this first set.
I certainly didn't. They're opening up the set the way I expected Pius to open up the set, but they are not intimidated.
Underwood from the outside can hit. Oh, and what it did there by Farrell. Farrell sets up the point for St. Pius, the first of the first set. And Farrell, you can see right there why she's committed to play volleyball at Wake Forest.
Just an unbelievable. I talked to Coach Frederick this week. I've watched Emma play since she was a little girl. She just digs the ball so well because she sees it where it's going before it ever starts to get there.
What a save there for Greenbrier as they're trying to capitalize on this new opportunity. Whistle blows, violation, and Greenbrier is going to pick up the point. 5-1, a 4-point lead for the Wolfpack.
And they're asking where the double was.
Number 10, Emma Farrell, talking things over with our officiating crew.
I think they're suggesting that the double touch was not on the set, but on a first touch. And you can actually double it on a first touch. It can touch both parts of your hands and be a bad-looking set, and that's what they're going to correct. He called a double on a touch that a double is not really illegal on. So it should go back to be 4-1 right here.
And at the top of the net, Greenbrier does get the point back as they hit it off the hands of number 14, Nina Shaw, and out of bounds. And number 3, Leanna Joyner is going to go back to serve.
And right now, Greenbrier is passing the ball great, but Eddie Schultz is making it really difficult for St. Pius at the net. Really difficult. She's getting hands on every one of their swings, and she's doing her own damage on offense.
Nice struck ball there, but it flies too hard out of bounds. St. Pius will get another point, put them with a 3-point deficit.
You got Rose Porter checking in.
And back to serve will be Rose Porter.
And she checks in for Nina Shaw.
And a nice slide play there. Emma Farrell signaled to the referee saying it went out of bounds for a moment, but this will be ruled a Greenbrier point, 6-2. Or I beg your pardon, no, he's going to adjust this as a St. Pius point.
Yeah, that should be an adjusted score.
As Rose Porter goes back to serve. That one hits the antenna, goes out of bounds, another point for St. Pius.
Seems like they might be having a little scoreboard problem right now as they're trying to get the scoreboard right.
We're still working on getting our score bug into the stream right now for you.
I think it should be 5-3 or 5-4.
So they will adjust. 5-4 is your score. Greenbrier on top by 1 as Rose Porter goes back to serve. Golden Lions looking to strike back. Nice save there by Underwood. And a nice kill there by number 18, Anne-Marie Rakowski, her 289th kill on the season.
Yeah, Anne-Marie's going to play next year at Wofford with somebody I know and love, my daughter Mary Emily. and she's as a middle, she can hit the ball either way into the seam, so she doesn't often hit a ball straight. So they're going to really have to dig her seams on either side of the middle blocker.
That's an ace.
That one off the hands of Greenbrier and out of bounds. Just like that, St. Pius has their first lead of the first set, 6-5, and they'll extend it 7-5, a 2-point lead for the Golden Lions.
Now, there's a reason that Rose Porter serves. Watch her serve. That last serve dropped about 18 inches in the last 6 feet of travel. So you get to where you think you're going to pass it, and all of a sudden it drops just like a sinker ball, just like a circle change. It just drops off the edge of the table.
Rose Porter, 41 aces on the season so far. On the outside, Layla Bland tried to land it, couldn't do so, and Rose Porter would continue serving as St. Pius rides this run, and a timeout will be called by head coach Kevin Williams.
Yeah, St. Pius on an 8-1 run. That's what Coach Williams has to do. They look like they might have been a little asleep when the match started, and it looks like they're fully awake now. What Greenbrier faces right now is that Pius's most experienced outside hitter is now at the net, and Kate LaRocco. You watch Kate warm up, you're like, she's not the tallest outside hitter, but she hits the ball really hard. She is really clean and really smart as an outside hitter. So anything you give her, she takes it and she scores. But I already see that Schultz, Eddie Schultz right here, number 5, is going to be a big key to the match for Greenbrier. If whether she can take Anne Marie and the other middles out of the match.
Rose Porter maintaining her spot at the block as St. Pius picks up another point.
Point Lions.
Nine to 5, a 4-point lead for St. Pius. As Porter sends a strike right down the middle. Layla Bland trying to retaliate, but what it did there by Porter. Trickles across the net, but the Wolfpack keep it alive. Oh, and a turnaround. Potential kill there for St. Pius is going to go about 2 inches too far out of bounds, and Greenbrier will get a much-needed point to end a very successful St. Pius run.
Yeah, that's the much-needed point. That Avery Brown tried a little over-the-shoulder dump right there. Oh, and a very unusual play right there for Emma Farrell to let a ball come down. So a great serve from Eddie Schultz right there.
Eddie Schultz, 35 aces on the season. We'll see if she can get another as Farrell digs it out. Oh, and what a hit there and what it did. Caitlin Wood right there to receive the hit, and that one goes out of bounds. St. Pius will get the point.
And that's both of those passes. Avery Boyd didn't even have to move. Literally, the passes on the serve, receive, and on the dig, she never even had to move her feet to set them to her hitter.
And at the top of the net there with the kill is number 8, Kate LaRocco.
That's already 2 kills for her, both of them tools off the block. That's just what she does. She hits the ball off hands, out of bounds.
LaRocco, another college committed to play volleyball at Emory University. As they go again to LaRocco, that's why she's a college commit. Spikes it home and picks up another point for St. Pius.
LaRocco.
Wolfpack looking to strike back off the hands of Layla Bland.
Oh.
On the outside for LaRocco. LaRocco is stuffed by Lydia Clark at the top of the net. They sneak it by Clark this time, land it in Wolfpack territory. And just like that, a 6-point lead for St. Pius.
And LaRocco already with 4 kills in the first set.
13-7 is your score as St. Pius leads by 6. And they lead by 7 now. LaRocco, we've seen what she can do with her arms on the hitting end right there. She displays her blocking abilities with her 36th block on the season. Great block again. This time it's Avery Brown and Kelly Stevenson. Rose Porter sets up Stevenson. Rally going here as Layla Bland tries to end it. Laura Underwood's going to dig it out, get it back over the net. They go again to Bland on the outside. This time Bland not as much power, more on the finesse side, but LaRocco displays the power, and they're settling for a St. Pius point.
Ball was hit outside the antenna.
The Greenbrier violation, and Pius is now going to lead by 8. More of the Pius team that we expected coming into today.
Well, it's just so funny how quick it turned. I mean, they're down 5-0 and they look asleep, and Greenbrier's got all the energy and everything else, and all of a sudden it's like the alarm clock went off. They clocked into work, and it's just hammer time when they get there. I mean, they are literally on a 16-2 run. And again, what I was saying about LaRocca, nobody looks at her and goes, "Whoa, that's an impressive, massive, like huge outside hitter that's going to crush the ball." But she already has a block and 4 points. She's killed 4 balls and has a block. So she has 5 of St. Pius' 16 points. And she's a great back row player.
How about that?
Great, I think 350-plus digs this season, and just great in serve receive. So, you got her and Emma Farrell in the back row. It's just hard to find a hole when you're serving them. And again, I've watched her play at Pius for 4 years. Just a really has developed into a great all-around player.
Burkowski back to serve.
And her serve is moving every which way.
She heads to the back corner, floats out of bounds, and the Wolfpack are going to pick up a point, 16-8.
Still seem to be having some scoreboard problems.
Lydia Clark heading back to the block as Farrell checks back into the game for St. Pius. Up in the air for LaRocco. LaRocco lightly taps it over. This one not so lightly tapped. Instead, it has too much power put on it, and this will be another point for St. Pius. As number 12, Avery Brown goes back to serve. She gets the lucky bounce on the top of the net, picks up another point for the Golden Lions.
Literally now an 18-3 run.
Greenbrier unable to find an answer for St. Pius. Another great serve, back-to-back aces there for St. Pius as number 12, Avery Brown, is rolling.
And I think this probably has Coach Williams as well as the girls from Greenbrier in shock, because they have been a really strong serve-receive defensive team all season long.
And what a hit there by LaRocco, but what it did by Lydia Clark to keep it alive, and Lydia Clark ends up getting the point. As Greenbrier starting to claw their way back into this one, as St. Pius attempting to shut the door.
That was a really nice attack from the setter. It's the first setter we've seen really attack with a swing all day long, because Greenbrier's running a 5-1, and so is St. Pius. So their setters are generally not really attackers so much as they are just setting up the other attackers and passing and digging. So here we see Lydia Clark from Greenbrier actually making an attack as a setter, so somebody else set her to hit.
Up in the air for Layla Bland, and Bland finally getting a chance to showcase that power she has on the outside.
And they did all this while Eddie Schultz was out of the match. So we'll see if that makes a difference when Schultz is back in. She gave them problems at the start of the match.
Schultz certainly a big piece for this Greenbrier team, as she's acquired 300 and now 32 kills on the season. One of those coming right there.
Yep. She just reads the movement of the setter and reads the ball and reads the movement of the hitter so well. It's just, you can learn it, I guess, but most of the people who are good at it are just intuitively good at watching.
Nina Shaw having to adjust in the air. She puts too much juice on that one, sends it out of bounds. Another point for Greenbrier. (20-12), an 8-point deficit here for the Wolfpack. Up in the air again for number 14, Nina Shaw. The Wolfpack keep it alive for a moment, but not before Leanna Joyner hits it into the net. And so St. Pius now back on top by 9, 21-12, 4 points away from taking the first set.
Again, the thing that goes unnoticed is just how good their serve receive is. Like their setter, Avery Boyd, has not had to move her feet more than 5 times the whole game to set the ball. That's out of system, sorry, but.
Oh, all good as Laraco goes to Shaw. Greenbrier trying to respond, and they do. They find the seam in between number 18, Anne-Marie Rakowski, and Nina Shaw. Farrell gets under it. Set up on the outside for Shaw. Shaw gets stuffed, but Farrell's there to respond. Great reflexes by Emma Farrell. Set up for Laraco, a mid-court hit as that one goes out of bounds, 21-14. Just like that, the Wolfpack are clawing their way back into this one.
Absolutely.
Farrell to Brown. Brown looking for number 14, Nina Shaw. Can't find her, 21-15, and now just a 6-point deficit for the Wolfpack.
It's just the energy level of Schultz. I mean, she walked on the floor and put an end to a 20-3 run from Pius.
Anna Joyner. Again, they go to Joyner. This time, Joyner just floats it over. Farrell's there. Farrell sets up Underwood. And what a save by Greenbrier to keep it alive. Farrell, this time go on the outside to Rakowski. Both these teams proving why they deserve to be here as St. Pius eventually gets the point, but not before a great rally back and forth between these two 5A matchups. These two 5A teams, I beg your pardon.
Absolutely. Right here, that was an 8-2 run. 8-2 run from Greenbrier.
Greenbrier in disbelief about that call. St. Pius in celebration, as the Wolfpack was certain that one flew out of bounds, and nevertheless, it'll be a point to St. Pius and just 2 more, and they steal the first set. That one bounces off the net, confuses number 2, Layla Bland, who was diving for it, had to adjust midair, couldn't do so. So now set point for St. Pius as Laura Underwood goes back to serve. Up in the air now for Bland. A dig for Farrell. Farrell can't keep it alive. That one goes out of bounds. And they block her at the top of the net. Rakowski gets stuffed. Eddie Schultz turned the tide, turned the momentum. The second, Jack, you said she stepped on the floor. Now a 7-point deficit as Greenbrier playing with their backs against the wall. Farrell now as Laraco at midcourt hits it off the hands of Eddie Schultz and out of bounds. St. Pius is going to take the first set of play.
Really got to give it to Greenbrier. They could have just quit. Absolutely just quit when Pius wanted a 20-3 run, but no way. They ran off their own 10-5 run to finish that set. So Coach Williams has got to get in that huddle and tell them that and point that out to them and build that back up so they come out with that same confidence in the second set and get a little bit better start. But you can see, looking at their faces right now in the Greenbrier huddle, nobody thinks they can't win and they're out of it. No one. They're all leaned in. They're all clocked in. You can tell.
As both huddles talk things over with their respective coaches, we'll take a quick break here at NFHS Network. You're watching the GHSA Championships on NFHS Network.
They ask, why are you training more?
They tell me it's just a game that we already practice.
I know. It takes dedication to earn greatness.
I might fall,
but I won't give up.
I have to work for it.
I put the time in to be better.
I didn't hope for it, I worked for it.
Champions keep going when others stop. So?
I don't stop.
didn't hope for it.
I worked for it.
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
Hello and welcome back to Lake Point Sports Complex for State Championship Saturday. It's the second set coming up shortly between St. Pius and Greenbrier, two strong 5A teams. And Greenbrier came out swinging to start off that first set, but then St. Pius shut it down the second. Eddie Schultz stepped out of the game.
Absolutely. They 5-0 run for Greenbrier to start the match. She comes out of the match, 20-3 run from Pius. She comes back in at the end. It's again a 10-5 run for Greenbrier. So literally, she is making an enormous difference in this match.
The libero bat to serve now, Avery Meredith. Let's get things going for this second set action as Meredith reaches for that one with the left hand, bounces off her hand, out of bounds, and St. Pius is going to steal the first point of the second set.
A nice little easy swing by Bland right there, just right down the line on the right side.
And LaFaro bat to serve. On the outside now, that was number 2, Laura Underwood, looking for the kill, and this will be 2 points for St. Pius, 2 quick points to start off this second set. Farrell bat to serve. As this one goes into the net, and a point to Greenbrier. 2-1 in a 1-point deficit as Annabelle Smith goes back to serve. Up on the outside for Nina Shaw. Smith saves it and digs it out. Leanna Joyner tries to find the back corner, can't do so as St. Pius gets another point on the board. Underwood, the senior, bat to serve once again. Another college committed to play volleyball at Berry College. This one goes out of bounds.
And this is the server, Underwood's the server that did most of the damage when Pius started their run. Serve is just going all over the place.
Eddie Schultz met at the top of the net. Greenbrier will get another chance as Farrell digs it out. Now it's Nina Shaw. Nina Shaw with that head start, that amount of running room, and a perfect placed ball.
Point St. Pius.
And what you see there, Farrell, instead of passing a high ball on the dig, she passed literally what would be called a tempo 1 serve receive pass, but she passed it right low to the setter's hands. And Nina Shaw set up the swing before the block can get there.
Oh, and St. Pius somehow keeps it alive here. Greenbrier trying to respond. They go to Eddie Schultz. Eddie Schultz looking for the back corner, and she gets it. 5-2, a 3-point deficit for the Wolfpack. Schultz again with 2 hands again, finds the back corner. 5-3, now just a 2-point deficit.
Yeah, Eddie Schultz evidently is from military. Her family's from military background. She's actually committed to play at Dayton State. That doesn't surprise me at all, given how heads up she is playing and how hard she works. I mean, she closed that block a long way right there.
And again, Eddie Schultz and Layla Bland at the top of the net, giving Greenbrier fans something to cheer about. 5-4, now just a 1-point deficit as Leanna Joyner goes back to serve. Joyner, 59 aces so far on the season. Oh, and she reaches and digs this one out with one hand. Bland trying to finish the job, and she does. We're all even at 5 apiece here at Lake Point Sports Complex.
And I hate to keep making it the Eddie Schultz show, but that's Eddie Schultz with the assist on the second touch. A beautiful ball. Absolutely no spin off two hands to set up the swing.
As Leanna Joyner was aiming for the back corner, couldn't quite hit it. St. Pius would get another point, put them back on top by 1.
And she has to do that. That's what Coach Williams said. They have to serve hard and serve aggressive away from Emma Farrell. That's exactly what she's trying to do.
This one skims the net, hits the chest of Avery Meredith, and lands in Wolfpack territory. 7-5, a 2-point St. Pius lead.
Yeah, that's Rose Porter back there serving, also a really good server. Again, part of that big run that Pius made a while ago.
One goes out of bounds, and this will be a Greenbrier point. Eddie Schultz, the 6'2 senior, back to serve. LaRocco trying to respond, gets a piece of the net. As Bland taps it over, goes too far out of bounds, and St. Pius will pick up another point.
I mean, I just can't give Greenbrier enough credit as hard as they've worked to be here and make their first appearance here, and just how they're hanging in there despite taking shots from St. Pius.
Golden Lions diving forward, trying to keep it alive as Rose Porter goes under, gets it over the net. Bland on the outside, sends it home. 8-7, Greenbrier, St. Pius going back and forth here in the second set of action.
That was a great lower set, a little bit faster swing to not let anybody set up a block.
On the outside now is going to be LaRocco. Greenbrier doing their best to keep it alive, and they do so. Coaches and fans on their feet for that rally there as St. Pius quickly shuts it down.
Just amazing hustle and effort. Truly a team that looks like a full of seniors that don't want their season to end. I love it.
Up in the air now for Layla Bland as she hits that one into the net, another St. Pius point. And this will make it a 10-7 ball game, a 3-point lead for the Golden Lions. Now on the opposite end for Eddie Schultz, and then LaRocco. LaRocco with so much force, so much authority, puts another kill on the board.
Just a great pass, great set, great swing.
Farrell. Now they go behind her to Underwood. Underwood gets the kill. St. Pius on top by 5.
Underwood, point, St. Pius. Timeout.
Coach Williams wants another timeout. Things starting to roll the wrong way. You just can't emphasize enough how important it is for that first pass from Farrell, the way she gets it. It almost looks like she's missed it because it's on such a straight line.
Right.
But then you look up and it's on a straight line, and the end of the line is the setter's hands. She's passing a straight line ball right to the setter's hands. So even though Pius technically is not tall on their pin hitters, and they're not generating, 55 miles an hour on their swings and everything, they're getting to swing before anybody can get there to do anything to them. So they're getting to swing before the block gets set, And so a player who's smart like a Kayla Rocco can always play a single block or a gap or something because she's got an unlimited amount of time to swing.
Right. The St. Pius team, as difficult as the Wolfpack are giving them a challenge, they've also been battle-tested as they faced BT just last week in the semis and ended up winning that one in 4 sets. And BT could have been sitting where Greenbrier is had they landed on the opposite side of the bracket.
Just that terrible luck of the draw sometimes. But how happy for Greenbrier, because Greenbrier drew McIntosh last year on their side of the draw.
Right.
So, I mean, it works out. They get a chance to come in here and see what they can do. And, you know, Pius is battle-tested. They went all the way down into Florida to play the Tournament of Champions. And while they were there, they beat Hoover from Alabama, Berkeley Prep, and then lost a really tight knuckle-biter match to Ponte Vedra, who's one of the best teams in the country. So Pius is a battle-tested team. Their rankings nationally and everything are well-earned. They haven't just played here in Georgia. They've played all over against the best.
That ball is long. Point Greenbrier.
That one's a bit too long as Greenbrier will head back to the serving block. 14-8, a 6-point deficit as Layla Bland with the serve. Into the hands of Emma Farrell. Up in the air now for LaRocco. LaRocco looking for the block. Somehow St. Pius keeps it alive, and it pays off as the Golden Lions get the point with the perfect placement in the back corner.
That's just such a heads-up play. Just such a heads-up play, knowing that their defense is all pulled up to cover tips and pick up the blocks.
Great dig out there by Avery Meredith. As Bland will just punch it over the opposite end, it's going to be Nina Shaw. Nina Shaw again with authority adds another point to the board for St. Pius.
Right now, it might be good for Coach Williams to actually change his order of his middles. But what do you do? I mean, if you get right now, Eddie is not on the floor, and she's the one making the big difference, Eddie Schultz for Greenbrier. But if you put her up front second, she might not get in.
Underwood racks up another kill, over 215 kills on the season for Laura Underwood as Kate LaRocco goes back to serve. Hit on by Meredith the libero. On the opposite end, it's Nina Shaw. Farrell. Greenbrier trying to respond, and they do so. Greenbrier gets a much-needed point as Eddie Schultz, the girl who's really making the difference, checks back into the game for number 15, Kat Swift.
That was a great swing there from a back row attack from Layla Bland. Nice swing.
Underwood tries to find no man's land, but Avery Meredith is there to scoop it out. Farrell calls ball, gets it over. On the opposite end for Nina Shaw. Nina Shaw is stuffed, but that one flies a bit too far out of bounds. 18-9, now a 9-point lead for the Golden Lions.
That ball is basically 3 inches wide. Off the block, that's all it needs to be, though.
Emma Farrell now back to serve. 97 aces so far on the season for Farrell. Greenbrier trying to respond, trying to get back into this second set of play, but they hit that one too far out of bounds. 19-9, a 10-point lead for the Golden Lions.
You can see why Greenbrier beat a lot of people and why they're here. They are a really good volleyball team. They just are unfortunate to draw one of the best volleyball teams in the country in the state championship match. You can see, and you know why they have the record they have.
36-2 on the season, coming off a hot 11-game win streak. As they've had to play tough teams in the playoffs. Woodward in the semis, Whitewater in the second round. As this one flies back, hits the back corner, 21-9. St. Pius is rolling here in the second set.
Yeah, the Whitewater team they beat is a really strong Whitewater team, and the Woodward team they beat is a really strong Woodward team. And they struggled and fought through both times.
Looking for the kill is number 8, Annabelle Smith. Can't quite get it, and St. Pius inching closer and closer to their first state championship since 2018. Eddie Schultz there looking to tap it over, can't do so. St. Pius now with 23, Greenbrier with 9.
LaRocca's out right now for Pius. Abby Williams is in to get a little time here in the state championship match and also give LaRocca a little bit of a rest.
As that one flies into the net, gives Greenbrier a point, 23-10, a 13-point deficit. As number 8, Annabelle Smith goes back to serve. Farrell digs it out. Up in the air now for Nina Shaw. Shaw gets stuffed by Schultz. That one hits the antenna, last touch by Greenbrier. And this is going to be a St. Pius point, push it to set point here as number 11 checks into the game, a fan favorite, Issa Boyd. Boyd, just a sophomore, bat to serve now for the Golden Lions.
Also in for the Lions, Haley Froseth to play right side.
Ball up by Boyd. Into the hands of Avery Meredith. Cross-court hit for Greenbrier. Farrell's dive, and how did Farrell save that? I don't know. St. Pius stays alive. But Greenbrier shuts the door just like that. St. Pius put together a great run, and Greenbrier was right there on the opposite end to shut it down, 24-11.
And the shot that made that kill was that beautiful set from Greenbrier by Lydia Clark. That was gorgeous.
And back-to-back points here for Greenbrier, as that's an ace for Leanna Joyner. And just like that, St. Pius takes the second set, 25-12, and a 13-point lead to end that second set of play.
That'll give us a little bit bigger break here for Greenbrier to kind of go collect themselves. Look, they are playing some good volleyball. They just run into a buzzsaw in terms of St. Pius. And it's the same buzzsaw that everybody but one has run into all season. St. Pius at 51-1. Literally one loss, and that loss occurring outside the state of Georgia again to Ponte Vedra. Unbelievable volleyball.
St. Pius undefeated in the state of Georgia, and really a perennial powerhouse when you look at the sport of volleyball. When it comes to St. Pius in 5A, led by head coach John Frederick, his 21st season as the St. Pius head coach, and he's leading them right now to a potential state championship. Once again, he had one in 2013. He had another in 2018, a chance to repeat here in 2021.
Yeah, John Frederick has been in the sport of volleyball literally for as long as I've been in Georgia, which is 35 years.
How about that? He
started with, literally with Marshall Ward, even before Marshall Ward was a volleyball coach at Westminster in '84, is basically an interim head coach at Westminster. Marshall Ward became the head coach. He coached with Marcia before volleyball was a GHSA sanctioned sport, when they had kind of a backroom kind of state championship, and there was only a Fulton County championship, a private school championship, and a Cobb County championship. He was at Westminster for all those years with Marcia Ward, who is a legendary volleyball coach in Georgia and National Coach of the Year. And now he's got St. Pius here. And on top of that, he's a heck of a physics teacher. I just want to tell you that.
How about that? On the edge of your screen, you can see head coach John Frederick high-fiving with the St. Pius student section. And with that, as he talks to his girls, and head coach Kevin Williams talks to his girls, we're going to take a quick break here. Riley O'Neill, Jack Morgan. You're watching the GHSA State Championships on the NFHS Network.
It's that time of year again. Time to embrace our community. Time for individual preparation to pay off and collective performance to reach new heights. So we join together and work to strengthen our bonds. Because it takes a community to achieve greatness. Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, always the home team.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
Hello and welcome back to the Lake Point Sports Complex as we are about to kick off the third set of volleyball. Greenbrier down 2 sets to St. Pius, who's really showed out in dominant fashion, but Greenbrier also staging a lot of heroic runs here, led by number 5, Eddie Schultz.
And also number 2, Layla Bland, who is a commit to Emmanuel College to play when she finishes her time here at Greenbrier next year. She's kind of found the rhythm a little bit, particularly in back row attacks, and had some really good kills. We also wanted to point out kind of the emotional leader here, who's really been struggling against this like St. Pius serve, but she's still keeping her head up and really doing a great job here in the back row. Is Coach Williams describes the Avery Meredith, the emotional leader of the team, and part of what she's doing is helping Eddie Schultz and Layla and the other hitters. Like Leanna Joyner here, she actually spends a lot of time calling, as a libero is supposed to. She calls out where the hitters need to hit the ball. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening out there on the floor, even though the score may not indicate it at times.
Failed to serve to start off this third set, and Greenbrier picks up an early point.
And there's Leanna Joyner with a hit right there. And what I'm talking about is the libero, Riley, is a lot like a catcher sometimes, that they see where the opening is and they holler out for the hitter to hit line, seam, 4, tip, whatever, and then the hitter will follow it.
And just like that, St. Pius fires back off the hands of Anne-Marie Rakowski. Rakowski, 289 kills on the season and 84 blocks to go along with it.
And another senior checking in here to get some action here in the back row for Greenbrier. Caitlin Wood, number 6, checks into the game.
Great hit there by Eddie Schultz to pick up another kill, pick up another point for Greenbrier.
And it's a great story, too, about Lydia Clark, the setter right there. That was a fantastic one set. You know, she has 2,000 career assists, but she didn't start setting until she was a sophomore when they switched their setter to libero and Lydia took over as setter. So that's a great story, 2,000 assists in basically 3 seasons. Pretty amazing.
Second in assist in all of 5A right now. That one hits off the hands of Lydia Clark out of bounds, and St. Pius will put another point on the board as number 4, Rose Porter, goes back to serve. Porter, one of many seniors playing in her final varsity volleyball game, gets the ace there, and that'll make it 41 aces on the season for Porter.
And Porter for Pius has played everywhere. She's played everywhere in her career, all different spots on the floor, wherever they really needed her.
With an ace.
So
good swing there by Layla Bland. Can't quite get it over the net. And this will put this push this Pius lead, I beg your pardon, to 4 points, 6-2, as Rose Porter continues with her spot at the block.
checking in for the Wolfpack is Sierra Keys. play back row.
Eddie Schultz with the slide play. Almost pitched up the kill, but St. Pius somehow recovers. Schultz again is going to go for it. Pius stuffs it back. Again, they go to Schultz for a third time. Emma Farrell's there. Again, Schultz. Schultz with 4 hits on the ball, looking for that kill. A slide play again to Schultz. Schultz off the hands of Rose Porter into the net. Farrell gets it over. A diving did there for Keys.
What a point.
What a rally here by both teams as Layla Bland pushes it over. Schultz goes for the block, can't get it. Schultz calling for the ball as Lydia Clark finally gets the point there for Greenbrier. What determination displayed by both teams to not quit and fight for that point as long as it took.
What a great left-handed dump. And I'm telling you, Dayton State's coach, when he watches this tape, is going to be really happy he's got Eddie Schultz coming to his school or her school. I don't know who it is, but they're a happy person.
Just 1 point, Greenbrier.
That one just a bit too far wide, so another point for Greenbrier. 6-4 as Greenbrier continuing to show why they are here in the state championship. Go back on the outside for LaRocco. Farrell's there. Again, they go to LaRocco. LaRocco again, not so much power, but she puts it right where she needs to. Perfect placement by Kate LaRocco. That'll be another point for the Golden Lions. Just now joining us, St. Pius took the first 2 sets in pretty dominant fashion, but Greenbrier showing flashes of heroism, led by Eddie Schultz, Layla Bland, Leanna Joyner, and so many other girls on the floor. Avery Meredith diving for that one, the libero. As number 18 goes back to serve now, Anne-Marie Rakowski. 8-4, a 4-point lead for St. Pius. Rakowski tries to dig that one out, can't do so, hits the rafters. And they're giving the point to Greenbrier. 8-5, a 3-point lead now for St. Pius.
Back to serve here, Lydia Clark for Greenbrier. That's a nice serve.
Great serve into the hands of Farrell. LaRocco gets blocked at the top of the net. Greenbrier having trouble getting it over the net with the tall blockers at the top. Girls like Kelly Stevenson and Anne-Marie Rakowski as St. Pius finally picks up the point there. 9-5 and a 4-point lead for the Golden Lions.
Greenbrier's level of play is just so energetic and so intense. They're just not getting any breaks either, though.
Yeah,
even the net seems unkind.
Even the net unkind to Greenbrier. St. Pius gets a lucky break there off the hand of Rakowski.
There's an ace. Point.
It's another ace for Rakowski. Back-to-back aces as she heads back to the block. That one goes out of bounds. Just long for Rakowski. 11-6 and now a 5-point deficit as Layla Bland goes back to the block. 58 aces on the season for Bland. We'll see if she can get another here. Just like that, Kelly Stevenson at the top of the net, the unsung hero at times for St. Pius today. He's got 42 kills on the season, picks up another one there.
Just a real smooth swing.
St. Pius, a team full of stars, but also full of role players.
Oh, absolutely, and almost everybody that's a star for them right now, with the exception of Farrell and Rakowski, was at some point in time a role player on the team. Some point in time they were a younger player just filling a role and filling a gap, and now they're feature players. And
a great did there by Avery Meredith as a diving Leanna Joyner can't quite get to it, and that'll be another St. Pius point, now just 12 points away from another state championship. Their third in the 2010 era and their first in the 2020 era.
I think what I like the most about Greenbrier right here is they're 2 sets down, but you couldn't look at their huddle right now, Riley, and know that they were 2 sets down. All eyes are on the coaches. They got their arms around each other. They are into this, and now they're jumping up and down and hopping. You got to love that. You just got to love that. That kind of like, just that kind of fire and that kind of competitive spirit, even when you know you're kind of in it deep.
This is a team full of seniors who have played with each other for 4 straight years, maybe even longer. So a great community and a great team here coming out of Evans, Georgia, 176 miles east of Lake Point.
Yeah, Coach Williams told me a great story. Well, look at that. That's a great kill right there. It looked like Leanna Joyner on that, but Coach Williams is telling me a great story that there's a younger kid who's in the middle school, and these girls here from Greenbrier did a service project. The girl's ill, and she's in the volleyball program, and so these older girls here did a service project to raise money for the girl and her family. Like I said with some of the other matches, it's amazing to me. Who is that again, Coach? That's Eddie Schultz with another kill.
Eddie Schultz right there. But, yeah, it puts on display certainly the community that this Greenbrier team has around it.
Yeah, and it's a senior-laden team, and they're going to leave a legacy behind them at Greenbrier for all the younger girls to come behind in the program. That means a ton.
Their first appearance in the state championship, and certainly a special one as they thought they kept it alive for just a moment. Greenbrier fans disagreeing with that call. And number 7, Lydia Clark, talking with our head official.
And the dispute there is whether or not she dug that or the dig was with an open hand or a fist. If that happened with a fist, that's a legal dig. If it happened with an open hand, it's a lift.
Clark sets up Schultz. Schultz gets blocked at the top of the net by Rakowski. Now they go to the opposite end for number 8, Annabelle Smith. That's a block again for Rakowski and another point for St. Pius. A 7-point lead for the Golden Lions as number 10, Emma Farrell, goes back to the serving block. That was actually LaRocco on the block. There's an ace for Farrell. Eddie Schultz into the hands of Emma Farrell. They go again, this time to Nina Shaw. That one's off the hands of Shaw. Another Wolfpack score.
Another great back row attack from Layla Bland right there. She's really got a knack for hitting off of that left side from behind the 10.
Annabelle Smith back to serve. Emma Farrell into the hands of Laura Underwood. Now Eddie Schultz at the top of the net overpowers Rakowski. They go this time to Nina Shaw, who Nina Shaw places it perfectly, finds a hole, and puts it there, 17-9.
And that is just a great set. Just a great set by Avery because she knew that Eddie Schultz was just finishing hitting. She got a quick dig, got the ball in her hands quickly, and set the outside before Eddie Schultz could get there on the block. So she was able to hit between the blockers. Just great high volleyball IQ. That was a big swing from Schultz right there and a great dig.
Big old swing from Schultz. They'll go to her again. No, they'll go to the outside. This time they do go to Schultz. Schultz, not so much power, more finesse at the top of the net, tries to get it over. This will be a point for the Wolfpack. 17-10. Wolfpack starting to claw their way back into this one.
I know we've been talking about Schultz a lot. I just have to keep talking about it if you watch her. She makes every move she's supposed to on a volleyball court. She's there in an approach, every ball that's up in the air. She's always closing the block. She's constantly moving. If she can jump one more time and get on top of a ball, she's just so much hustle. Just so much. She does all these little things right. She has great feet. Like I said, Dayton State coach must be just ecstatic.
Oh, he is ecstatic for sure as Nina Shaw checks out of the game, but not before she adds another kill to the score sheet. That one flies out of bounds, and there's a point for the Wolfpack. Bat to serve will be number 5, Eddie Schultz.
And this Pius team, people were coming in at DS. We got Rose Porter now in the game. Laura Underwood still there.
We'll call a net violation. 18-12, now just a 6-point deficit as Eddie Schultz once again will head back to the serving block. Up in the air now for LaRocco. St. Pius trying to respond off the hand of Rukowski. Now back to LaRocco. LaRocco a cross-court hit, can't get it to land, and just like that, Greenbrier, 1, 2, 3. Back-to-back points as Eddie Schultz remains at the block. 18-13, a 5-point deficit for the Wolfpack. That one floats a bit too far out of bounds and gives St. Pius another point. 19-13, 6-point lead for the Golden Lions. Rukowski hits it into the hands of Avery Meredith, your libero. Meredith gets it again. Sets up Lydia Clark. Clark just dumps it over. St. Pius doesn't have a response, and there's another kill for Clark. Her 105th kill on the season.
That's a great idea right there. You look and you see the donut hole just out of the corner of your eye where everybody's in a big circle around the middle of the court, and you just dump it in there.
Perfect placement as Clark's now going to head back to the block. Back to a 5-point deficit for the Wolfpack. If LaRocco gets up, can she get it? Yes, she can. LaRocco with another kill, 20-14. And St. Pius now just 5 points away from another state championship. To 15 as Layla Bland goes back to serve. Rose Porter collects it. Sets up LaRocco on the outside. Beg your pardon, that's Underwood on the outside. That one floats out of bounds, and Greenbrier is going to pick up the point.
It's tightening up here, Riley.
Certainly is. 20-16, now just a 4-point deficit, one of our smaller deficits in this third set of play as Bland goes back to the block.
Nice
Bland
serve.
Hits it right to LaRocco. As Avery Meredith reached up for that one with the left hand, couldn't quite get to it. St. Pius puts another one on the board. LaRocco back to serve. Greenbrier doing everything they can to put themselves back into this one. As Nina Shaw picks up another kill, puts another point on the board for St. Pius. St. Pius inching closer and closer to another state championship, and that'll force a timeout by head coach Kevin Williams.
Please do not rush the floor. Again, please do not rush the floor. Let the players stay in, get their awards. There is an awards area just behind the bleachers. There's a media where all parents and all spectators can take pictures of their team in the little media area right behind this seating area. So please do not rush the floor after the match is over. Thank you.
The Wolfpack will break the huddle, break the pack for what could be the final time this season. LaRocco back to serve. Bland receives it. They set up Eddie Schultz on the outside, and this will be another St. Pius point. Beg your pardon, that's number 3, Leanna Joyner.
And the Pius crowd's happy. Haley Froseth's in. Senior. Up in the air now for Froseth. Froseth looking for a kill.
And she gets it. How about that? Haley Froseth checking into the game and making this match point.
Again, as you were saying about role players, Haley, that girl that's been in the program, role player, gets to get a kill in the state championship match.
LaRocco gives St. Pius another state championship. The Golden Lions are your 5A state champions once again.
And a well-deserved state championship for one of the best teams that's been in Georgia in quite a while.
And your Academy Sports and Outdoors Player of the Game, number 8, Kate LaRocco, the outside hitter, the senior, who just put on quite a performance on the biggest stage.
Absolutely. She had probably led the Pius Lions in kills. Great back row play, nice serving. Just a great all-around game and a smart court game all the way around. High volleyball IQ.
And tip your cap as well to the seniors and all the players on the Greenbrier Wolfpack for the season they put together. I beg your pardon. 36-3, 39 games played, and one heck of a run.
One heck of a run, and still spirit. Assistant coach, I think that's Coach Epting right there, urging her kids on, exalting her kids, praising her kids for a great season. Just a great season. Happy for Coach Williams, happy for Coach Epting, happy for the Greenbrier.
So with the 5A state championship wrapping up, stay tuned to NFHS Network because we have the 7A state championship on deck. Alpharetta versus Walton, a rematch of last year's, and it's sure going to be a doozy.
It will be a doozy. It'll pit two of the best programs in the state of Georgia perennially against each other.
So tune into that one starting live on NFHS Network at 6:30. I'm Riley O'Neill, joined by Jack Morgan. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations once again to both teams.